Reading Robert Jordan's Wall of Time. I have the word. Part 27. Perrin could not sleep. No matter how he shifted, he could not find enough comfort from the cold around him, and rocks beneath him to drift off. Egwene had no such problem. She lay hundreds against Perrin back for warmth, sleeping with the deep sleep of exhaustion. She never ever murmured at his constant shifting about. Usually Perrin collapsed like a rolled out rug as soon as the white cloaks left him stop. But tonight his mind was racing, his skin crawled with a dread that had been brooding for days. If he could close his eyes, he would only see the torture Pierre promised for them once they reached Amador. Worse was the fact that Pierre did not appear to be trying to frighten them. With talk or hot irons and pincers, knives slicing away skin, and needless piercing. In fact, Pierre did not care if they were frightened or not, if they were tortured or not, if they were alive or not. The realization was what convinced Perrin that Pierre was telling the simple truth. Perrin wondered how they would ever make the White Cloaks believe that he and Egwene weren't friends, while they were already convinced it was fact. Had Perrin saw the lantern light and someone speaking to the gods, he could not make out what was said, but he recognized the tar-guant shape. Biar. Wake up, I said. I'm awake. What? What? Why should Dacron sleep when decent men must stay awake to guard them? For the 100th time, we aren't Dacrons. You are slowing us down, Dacron. You and your wolves. The Council of the Attorney would want to know more of such things, so you must be taken to Amador to be given to the questioners. But you are slowing us down. I had hoped we could move fast enough, even without the Ramones, but I was wrong. Which leaves the Lord Captain Catch in the cleft of a dilemma. Because of the wolves, we must take care you to the council, but we must reach Camlin too. We have no spare horses to carry you, but if we continue to let you walk, we will not reach Camlin by the appointed time. The Lord Captain sees his duties with a single-minded vision, and he intends to see you before the council. to understand. There's nothing to understand. And nothing but idle speculation. If you escaped, we would not have an hour to spare to track you down if we are to reach Camlin in time. If you freed ropes on the sharp rock, say, and vanished into the night, the Lord Captain's problem would be solved. Just idle speculation. Your guards tonight also speculate. Could it be true? Could the White Cloaks need to get to Camlin quickly and be important enough to let suspected Darkwings escape? Think it through. They will kill them. But they try to do it. If they wanted them to escape, why not simply cut their bonds? And the guards, they seemed to be poised, waiting. If Perrin and Egwene were killed trying to escape, the Lord Captain's dilemma would be solved. Alright, and Briar would have them dead, the way he wanted them. Wait, don't go. I want to talk. Perrin was interrupted by a thought that blossomed in his mind, a clear burst of light in the midst of chaos, so startling for a moment he forgot everything else. Help comes. Dapo was alive, and Elias? Elias was alive as well. Perrin could see it in his mind's eye. He was coming. Some toad has come to you, Perrin, what it is, and I would know what it is. What? Before Briar could even finish his toad, things began happening too fast for Toad. The guards had vanished, swallowed by the night before Perrin's eyes. Perrin's eyes bulge as the night seems to flow into the lantern light, and then the darkness invaded, the light became loud. The axe in Briar's hand lashed out like lightning. Alan seems to lean casually aside, letting the blade pass so close. He must have felt the wind of it. And then it is really? We thought you were dead. We thought you were all dead. Not yet. Did you? Is he? No, I did not kill unless I meant to. But you won't bother no one for a while. Now stop asking questions, get a pair of their cloaks and follow me. We do not have much more time. Landing like hail, Aslan led Perrin and Egwene out of the camp. White Cloaks looked at them, wide-eyed. As they passed, a few shouted at them, but no one tried to stop them. Eventually the ground turned uneven under Perrin's feet, and Brush began to slap at him. The lightning flickered fitfully and was gone. Behind them, and still shouted voices, tiny in the night, trying to restore order and find out what had happened. The nymph has not returned. I fear that young woman has done something foolish. I've heard her. No, some things are more important than others. You know that. Remember your oaths, Alan Mandragorn, Lord of the Seven Tower. What of the oath of a diademed battle lord of Malkiri? Before Rand could say anything, his attention was caught by the crash of breaking branches from the wood. In Tulok's land was between Moraine and the sound, the pale moonlight whipping across his soul. And then, to the crackle and snap of underbrush, a pair of horses burst through from the trees, one with a rider. Nynaeve, Egwene, oh thank the light you alive. Walmart and Rand. Elsewhere, the light sends thee well. Will none of us be well if the white cloaks find us? Change the cloaks and get mounted. As they started out, praying for Dapple's touch on his mind once more, a message, or a feeling that words was only one day again. It had counting in his mind long after awareness of the wolves winked out. It was not much short pulled down when Moraine finally carried out. They made a quiet meal on bread and cheese and hot tea. Nynaeve produced an ointment from her bag for the wheels the ropes had left on Egwene's wrists, and a different one for her other bruises. And then she went to see the Perry. Take your coat and shade of Perry. They tell me one of the wild cooks took a dislike to you. Oh, could they have disliked you so much? Because I don't know. Ground ivy, five finger and sunburst root feels better already. You sound surprised. Next time you can go to her. Not surprised, just glad. What, what happened? Rounded Matt. She says they're alright. She says we'll find them. And calmly, she says it's too important. was not to whatever that means. She says a great many things I don't understand. If it was yellow fever, you wouldn't be able to stand, but you don't have any fever, and the whites of your eyes aren't yellowed, just the irises. Yellow? There isn't anything. There was no foretelling this. Something contained to be woven in a change in the pattern. If a change by the hand, the will weaves the will wills. It must be the heart. Do you know what it is? Can it do something for him? For healing? Healing can do nothing about this. It is no doubt endless. It will not. I was going to say I will not harm him, but who can say what the harm will be? At least I can say it will not harm him directly. What is already woven is past changing. We must sleep now while we can. I leave soon. We must reach Camlin quickly. Opinion was unable to sleep. There's that I knew about wolves, and she purposely told that this could be the Dark One's doing. I did not even hear Lan come and sit next to him. For as long as a moment, they simply stared at each other, and then Pern asked, "You know?" So, not all. Did it just come to you, or did you meet a guide, an intermediary? There was a man. Said his name was Elias. Elias Mature. I knew Elias. He told me much. He was a warder before what happened. He is well, Elias. I think so. The white cloaks say they killed him, but Dapple, I don't know, this communicating with the wolves. Moraine seems to think it's something the Dark One did. Isn't it? Is it? Some believe it is, but they are wrong. It was old and lost long before the Dark One was found. But what of the chance for blacksmith? What chance that you should meet a man that could guide you in this thing, and you one who could follow the guiding? The pattern is folding a great web, and you lads are drawn to it. I don't think there's much chance in your lives now. Have you been chosen then? And if so, by the light or by the shadow? The Dark One can't touch it. As soon as we name him, he can't. Look hard, stubborn. Maybe stubborn enough to save yourself in the end. Remember, this time we live in Blacksmith. Remember what Morris and I told you. This might be the end of an age. We might see a new age born before we die, or perhaps it is the end of the ages. The end of the time itself. The end of the world. But that's not for us to worry about, blacksmith. We'll fight the shadow as long as we have bread. If it's overruns us, we'll go under biting, clawing. You two river folks are too stubborn to surrender. Don't you worry, whether the dark one has stirred in your life, you are among friends now. Remember the whale waves, that's the whale waves. And even the dark one cannot change that. Not with more rain to watch over you, but we had better find your friends soon. What do you mean? They have no Aessedite touching the true source to protect them. Perhaps the walls have weakened enough for the Dark One himself to touch events. Not with a free hand or with we don't already, but maybe tiny shiftings in threads. And then with what seems like a chance, they could be so far under the shadows, not even Moraine could bring them back. But Moraine, she can find them anywhere, can't she? She says she can. But can she find them in time? The Dark One is strong enough to take a hand himself. Time is running out. You pray we'll find them in Camlin, blacksmith. Or we may all be lost. Camlin. Today was the day that the first dragon was to arrive, and the excitement was palpable. Ran too was keen to see the first dragon. I was sure that this would bring Matt down from the room as well. But wanted nothing more than to remain in bed. There's been someone asking after you in the city, lad. You and his friends by name. Who? Beggar, half mad, I hear. Don't know his name. Darkford? They're around certainly, but just because the White Cloaks of everyone stirred up is no reason to think the city full of them. Come to that, do you know what rumor those idiots have started down now? Strange shaped creeping around outside the city at night. Oh well, it's not of all worrying. Going out, are you? Not your friend? Matt's not feeling very well. Maybe later? Be that as it may. You, watch yourself now. I will. Rand had learned a lot in his time in the city. For instance, he learned that red wrappings on the sword indicated support for Queen Morghese, while white wrapping said the Queen and her involvement with Asada were to blame for all the ills of the world. Rand had no interest in Camelin politics, but it was too late now. yet already chosen by accident, but though it was, matters in the city had gone beyond letting anyone stay neutral. Today thought things were different on the surface, at least. Today the first dragon was being brought into the city and Camlin was celebrating victory of the light over the shadow. Giving up making his way to the palace, Rand looked around for a place where he could use his height to his advantage, where he could watch from a distance but still see the first dragon's face, and then across the street the beggar that Master Gear had mentioned. It had to be. The little man gave a wordless cry and pointed straight at her. And then he began to scuttle across the street. Whatever ill chance had led the man to find him like this, Rand was sure that darkened or not, he did not want to meet this beggar face to face, so he ran. As he did, his cloak flapped open enough to expose his red-clad sword. When Rand realized that, he ran faster. A lone supporter for the Queen running could well spark a white glow. He mopped the pursuit, even today. Rand ran until the irritated shouts of the people he shoved past were left far behind. Not until then did he allow himself to collapse against the wall, painting. Though he could not say why, Rand was sure that the beggar would not give up. That rugged shape would be working its way through the crowds at that very minute, searching. Rand knew he could not go back for a good view of the procession. He hoped to avoid the beggar, but he would not give up his chance to see Queen, let alone a first dragon. After walking around for an hour or so looking for a decent vantage point, Rat spotted a wall at a steep slope. It wasn't meant to be clambered up, but the cliffs just beyond the sand hills were higher. Even Perrin had climbed down. As Ron settled into the palace at the wall, the first part of the procession rounded the final curve before the palace. Trumpeters, mounted bannermen, pikemen, archers, and then footmen. Following that, the massive wagon pulled by 16 horses, hitches of 4. And on the wagon, trapped in a cage of heavy iron bars, was Logain, the fast dragon. Rand's perch was not close enough for him to see Logain's face as he had wanted to, but suddenly he thought he was as close as he cared to be. The way he held himself, Logain was a king in every inch of him. The cage might as well not have been done. Other containments followed behind the wagon, with banners representing more who had fought the defeated Fast Dragon, the golden beasts of Ilion, the three-sword crescents of Tyr rising south of Caerleon, among others. The sign was anticlimactic after Loghain. Loghain, he was defeated, wasn't he? He wouldn't be in cage if he wasn't defeated. But could not shake the image from his head. The cage and the Aes Sedai, Loghain, defeated. No matter the cage that he had been, a defeated man, he had actually thrown back his head and laughed as they brought him to the palace. But why were the Aes Sedai watching him? They're keeping him from touching the true soul, silly. What? What? Ran Jack to look up towards the girl's voice, and suddenly his precarious seat was gone. He had only time to realize that he was toppling backward, falling.